that was that was an eye opener. That was yeah, I went from the Jimmy Dean show, which was kind of handled normally, with fairly normal hours, and as I said, just writing that one spot was kind of an easy job. But Jackie Gleason, that's one of the craziest jobs I ever had. Jackie Gleason, as you know, the reason they were in Miami is that he wanted to play golf. And he was such a big star that CBS allowed him, and they moved from New York. There was a famous train ride with everybody. That's before I got there. They set up a whole production in Miami, Miami Beach, actually. And the shows were done in the convention center, which had close to 3,000 seats, which was, you couldn't get a ticket. That's how popular he was. But by that time, he had gotten, by the way, Gleason is another one that I used to watch on TV, and I loved Gleason, and I never thought I'd wind up writing for him. Anyway, the operation was so weird. He had a lot of writers, hangers on. Gleason was very good that way. That if he knew somebody, he'd hire them, they'd get paid, and they wouldn't do that much, but there were a bunch of them. And now and then they'd bring down two young writers, and they'd bring it either together or separately. They'd try out. Now, I don't know how they'd work this out with the Writers Guild, because the Guild supposedly never allowed that kind of thing. They'd literally test you for 2 weeks, and then they'd send you down there first class, put you up in a hotel, and then send you back. And every writer went down like that. I'm one of the few who went down and stayed, and that was incredible. The truth is I got very lucky. I happened to say something very funny to the head writer, or I had an idea, and he liked it a lot, and he kept me. And in fact, he kept me for the whole season, although he did send me back, not he, but the show. They were crazy. At Christmas time, they were going to repeat shows from a previous year. So they basically fire you, send you back to New York first class, and then 2 weeks later, they rehire you at a higher salary. So my salary kept going up on the Gleason show itself. But the experience was that Gleason had become very lazy. And he was a quick study, so that he had a stand-in, do the sketches in front of him once, and then he was able to step in and do it. He was brilliant that way. But the rest of the week, he was playing golf. And this poor guy, this head writer, Marvin Marks, was a very good writer. He's since passed away. But he was, first of all, he was like Gleason. He was his voice. He became like him. He could talk like him. And we worked in Gleason's office, a big, huge desk. Gleason never came. And we just, and the room was immense. And this poor Marvin Marks was put through the ringer. He would have to call Gleason on the golf course and pitch him ideas for sketches. And Gleason, if the caddy actually would tell Marvin, it's not a good day. And at one point, this is hard to believe, but it has to go on record. Marvin was pitching him on the phone to the caddy a Poor Soul sketch, which was an all silent sketch, which is all visual. There isn't a joke in there. He's pitching it to the caddy, who in turn has to go pitch it to Gleason. Now the caddy doesn't know how to pitch comedy. So by the time he gets to Gleason, Gleason turns everything down. Because if Gleason's having a bad day on the course, he turns everything down. Anyway, it was crazy, because we'd work late at night for no reason, getting nothing in. But little by little, I got stuff in, and I met a writer named Saul Turtletaub, who became a big television writer, producer. And he came, I think, a little before Christmas. And we somehow wound up together in a room. Partnerships wind up that way for no reason, two people together. And we wrote some opening jokes for Gleason. which were the few of the very few new things got on, because he would repeat old sketches. Because as I said, he got too lazy. But he did do an opening monologue, which was more like stories. So we got to write those, and they got on. So we stayed till the end of the season.